applications of coordination compounds. Chelating agents. So ethylene diamine tetraacetate ion, known as EDTA, has 6 lone pairs, and it can form very stable complexes with metal ions. And so this can be used for important things like treating lead poisoning. So lead poisoning, you've got lead ions in your blood, in your body, and this is not good. They can give you calcium EDTA. The calcium and EDTA don't complex very strongly. The lead complexes more strongly with the EDTA, so when the calcium EDTA encounters lead, the lead kicks the calcium out and takes its place. Is it bad to have calcium ions floating around in your body? No. You need calcium ions. You don't need lead ions. So when the lead ion is chelated, when it's all encapsulated by this EDTA, it's not going to do any of the nasty things that it does when it's free. And so you're just going to pee it out, literally. So that's an application. Chemical analysis. This is what we did in our lab practical. Some ligands are selective for specific metal ions and can be used to analyze them. So SCN- is used to test for cobalt-2 or for Fe3+. It makes a blue solution with cobalt and a red solution with iron. Remember seeing those? Now, the solution we saw for iron was much darker than that, right? Because it was a higher concentration. Here they've made the concentration lower so that you can actually see it. When we did it, it looked like blood, right? It's so dark. Other ligands may form colored precipitates. So that's a use. Coordination compounds are useful as coloring agents. So iron blue is used in ink, paint, cosmetics, blueprints, and that is a mixture of hexacyano complexes of iron 2 and iron 3. They're intensely colored, and so they can be used as coloring agents. Living systems have a lot of metal complexes in them. So you're probably aware that there's certain vitamins that your body needs, and there are also trace minerals that your body needs. A lot of those trace minerals, like molybdenum, you're going to get enough naturally. But sometimes you need to supplement. You don't want to supplement too much, though. But what are these used for? Well, chromium works with insulin. Manganese works with fat and carbohydrate synthesis. Molybdenum is involved in hemoglobin synthesis. Iron is very, very important. We'll talk about this one in a minute. It's involved in oxygen transport. Copper is also involved in hemoglobin synthesis. And zinc is involved in cell reproduction and tissue growth. It's part of more than 70 enzymes. You don't have enough zinc, and then not all of these enzymes can function the way that they're supposed to. So that can cause problems. So biomolecules, examples here are hemoglobin and cytochrome C. Both of these contain a heme. So this is a ball and stick model of a heme, but they left off all the hydrogens just so we could see it a little better. Each of these black carbon atoms would need to have 4 bonds. So this one has a double bond, so then it's going to have 2 hydrogens on it. There are 4 nitrogens in here, and these nitrogens form coordinate covalent bonds. They are the ligands for the iron ion in the center. So the heme is a tetradentate ligand, right? So in cytochrome C, you've got this heme as part of this larger protein. So heme is what's called a porphyrin. It's a flat polydentate ligand, and then it gets connected to a protein. In hemoglobin, we also have this heme. Here we have the line structure instead of ball and stick. But again, we see it's a tetradentate ligand, 4 nitrogens with the iron. And this forms a square planar arrangement. The iron actually has a 5th ligand, and that 5th ligand is a nitrogen from the protein, and then the 6th ligand is going to be either oxygen or water. And so oxygen is a ligand that attaches to iron in the hemoglobin. And so when there's not very much oxygen present, if the hemoglobin has an oxygen, it'll let it go. So it'll take oxygen to tissues that don't have a lot of oxygen and let them go. When their blood comes back to your lungs where there's lots of oxygen, it's going to lose the water molecule it picked up, and it's going to pick up oxygen instead. And so it's like this little freight train system going through and taking oxygen where it's needed. Very cool, and all due to a complex ion. A lot of enzymes also use complex ions. Carbonic anhydrase catalyzes the reaction between water and carbon dioxide that occurs in respiration. So this has zinc in it, zinc bound in a tetrahedral complex. 3 of those ligand sites are occupied by nitrogen atoms from surrounding amino acids. 1 site is available to bind with a water molecule. When the water molecule binds to the zinc, it does it through one of the oxygens, through the oxygen. The zinc draws electron density away from the hydrogens, which makes it easier for them to be lost. So it makes it easier for the water to lose a proton, and then that hydroxide that's left will react with the CO2 and form the carbonic acid, the hydrogen carbonate. And this is the proton that got lost from the water. So this reaction does occur naturally, but carbonic anhydrase makes it happen much faster. Chlorophyll. This is what plants use in photosynthesis. This also has a porphyrin in it, a polydentate ligand, But here, instead of iron, it's magnesium. And this is essential for photosynthesis. Drugs and therapeutic agents. Cisplatin, which is it must be diamine dichloroplatinem 2, is a cancer drug. And the way this functions is it attaches to the cancer cell's DNA and messes up the reproduction of the cells. The end.